How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day. We got a lot of stuff to go over today. We're gonna go over the filings, the CEOs, go over this capital raise. Hope everyone's having a good day today. I'm gonna let some people jump in. How's everyone doing? Ah man, what a morning, my friends. What a morning. What a rush. Always something going on here. So start off with this GameStop filing. So if you guys haven't been aware, I'm sure everybody's heard by now. GameStop is doing a 75 million capital raise here. Now, I'm in GameStop and I'm in AMC, so I've been through all the dilution and all the fun, and it's annoying as hell every single time. But I do want to go over something here real quick with everybody, and I do want to go over some things with people on both companies here, because I want to show you guys both CEOs. They're really not the same, or they're really the same. There's really no difference. You have everybody who loves Ryan Cohen and gives them the passes for the same thing AA does, blames AA for shit. So let's just go over a lot of stuff here real quick in the whole play and everything that's gone, happened so far. So if you look over at the whole play here with AMC and GameStop, when AMC first started and GameStop first started, nobody ever took into account the total debt that the companies had. AMC and Adam Aron had to start off with $5.8 billion in debt. That's quite a bit of debt. So he's got a higher field to start off with. And if you look back at the time, Ryan Cohen obviously only had over $1 billion in debt, and they obviously raised that on the first capital raise. So the starting fields are very, very, very different between the two CEOs. Now, all day today, I've been hearing the same thing from people. Well, Ryan Cohen, when he does capital raises, he gets billions. And when AA does it, AA gets millions. Well, here's the thing. When Ryan Cohen did it, paid off the debt the first time, everybody loved him. It was a great move. It was a perfect move. This is exactly what he should have done. When AA did it at the top, everybody said he was killing the squeeze every time. I'm like, no, he's just maximizing profits on that dilution. That's what you're supposed to do. But he was killing the squeeze. Now today, I'm not going to lie, this one kind of confuses me quite a bit. It confuses me quite a bit because GameStop released their earnings as well today, and they only lost $32 million. Now, you just did a capital raise, and now you are at $2 billion capital. $32 million is nothing. So, to come out with this filing for almost twice as many shares, you're kind of like, it is a puzzling thing. Why did you want... That's the one thing I'm still like, why did you need 75 million? That's quite a bit of shares. Now, here's the thing too. Why release earnings today? All this today. Kittty stream's gonna go crazy. Kittty stream would have gotten you so much attention, publicity. The stock could have went flying up. You could have filed this next week. Type of thing where it's like, I just don't get why you would do this before his stream. Now, again, back to Ryan, back to AA. On the last time Ryan just diluted, he did it at $20. He could have done it on again. It was at a higher price. Why did he wait? So a lot of people, I told everybody right away, he's going to dilute right away, and all these people went crazy. No, there's a 3-year lockup period. There's a shelf life. He can't dilute. It's impossible. No, he did, and like I said, it wasn't a bad idea. It was a good thing to maximize this. Now, again, 75 million. That's quite a bit. Why do you need? At his price right now, he'll get about $2.8 billion. Now, that's a hell of a capital raise. Let's start off there. I already said today when I woke up, I would have capitalized if I was GameStop on this run-up. I definitely would have sold some shares and raised quite a bit of capital. But, 75 million shares, 2.8 more billion, so that's going to put him around $4.8 billion with basically zero debt. Now, this is a great move, but again, just sitting on capital, if you're not going to do anything with it, if you were going to do it at that point, again, why couldn't you wait? Why wouldn't you wait until after Kitty's stream? Why wouldn't you do this? So I know some people are going to be like, well, why would we might not be selling? Well, then that's stupid too. You won't wait to have your price skyrocket, file a thing saying you're going to sell, but then not sell when your price is obviously exploded now. Now, one of the things I want to point out here too as well. Today, the stock jumped. The stock's been jumping, and Ryan will dilute when and he's showing these things jump up. But a lot of people are giving Ryan Cohen credit for, like, okay, well, the stock wouldn't have jumped if Kittty wasn't here. It's not like Ryan released these earnings and all of a sudden the company and everything he's done personally in the company and all that aspect is like, oh yeah, the stock should be where it is now. No. Ryan has a roaring kitty. Adam Aaron doesn't have a roaring kitty. So for everybody to keep saying, well, Ryan can raise billions, no, roaring kitty can raise billions. Ryan can take advantage when it can do that. Adam Aaron doesn't have a roaring kitty to keep pumping his stock and paying down things. Like I said, a lot of people go crazy over the difference. The difference is Adam Aaron also needs to dilute. He has debt. As we went over, he started with $6 billion. He started with $6 billion. Ryan got to start with $1 billion. Nobody ever wants to take that into account. So circumstances are completely different. Now, again, with AMC, we said no. A lot of people, now these same people will say how great it is when Ryan dilutes every time. But then when Adam Aaron does it, they always bring up Ape and then complain about Ape. Ape would have never needed to happen if we wouldn't have said no to those shares. He would have diluted the shares, but every one of us did what? All you guys went fucking screaming and crying about how it's going to kill the squeeze and it's going to kill the whole play. And here we are years later with Ape, which we, again, wouldn't have had. See, everybody gets so emotional. Everybody falls in love with somebody, whether it's Ryan, whether it's Adam, and they can do no wrong. And if you talk bad about them at all, you're allowed to be frustrated. People right now in GameStop, you're allowed to be pissed. You don't have to 100% just say, okay, everything Ryan does here is perfect. Everybody, and like I said, everybody will say, well, no, I don't always stick up for Adam Aaron. Here's the thing. The people that say I always stick up for Adam Aaron have never watched my YouTube. You haven't. You've obviously, clearly never watched it. You just listen to the echo waves. No, again, their circumstances are completely different. If we had a roaring kitty, and again, if we wouldn't have said no in the first place, guess what? The same people that are whining about Ape don't understand that your other alternative, since we said no to the shares, would have been Chapter 11, and your shares would have been worthless. So even if they're worth 10 cents, even if they're worth $1, your play's still going because Ape ended up being created. Because again, we were running out of cash, and you need cash to keep going. Now, with GameStop here and with this, again, I mean, if you want to say this didn't kill a squeeze type today, you're on drugs. This had every single aspect. Ask Andrew Left here. Ask Andrew Left. Today had every single aspect you needed. And then Kittty coming back, it had every aspect for GameStop to fly, dude. And I mean fly. Granted, it can still fly, but I mean, how much of this is he going to drop during the momentum? Here's what you're going to do if you're GameStop, and everybody, like I said to you last time, he's going to dump, and the same people that go, no, there's a 3-year lockup. No, this is how he's going to do it. GameStop, its price is super elevated. So what he's going to do is front load this offering. He's going to dump a whole bunch out right away, and he's going to maximize the offering. That's what any smart CEO would do. Now, I'm not just sitting here dogging on Ryan. I like Ryan. He's making great moves. But at the same time, I don't want everybody sitting here giving a pass to all of these CEOs anytime they kill momentum like this and be like, well, yeah, it was perfect when he did it. Well, no, you're being completely hypocrite. Again, you're giving Ryan credit for what Roaring Kitty accomplished by raising the stock price as high as he's got it to go, as getting as much eyes and attention once again on the company. Look at his... Right now, there's 40,000 people waiting in Roaring Kitty's live stream. They're all talking GameStop. It's getting national coverage all over again. Everybody's jumping in. You're getting FOMO. It's not because of Ryan. It's because of Roaring Kitty. Like I said, I'm sick of these CEOs, both of them, peeing on us and telling us it's fucking rain. Again, why did he not wait for just a little longer? Why wouldn't you wait till next week? Why wouldn't you wait till after Kittty's thing? Now, one of the things that I thought was pretty funny was douchebag here. Good old Vladdy boy comes out last night, or he puts this out literally in the morning. It was like last night, right at the end of the thing. He goes, "Don't worry, we're all set for fucking Roaring Kitties. We're all ready for his live stream and the frenzy that's gonna take place. We're all ready and set to go. No problems, no problems at all. We have no worries about it." And it's like, well, yeah. Did you know about the fucking offering? Probably, because they always know. You had somebody like E-Trade. E-Trade was fucked. Think of how jacked everybody's been because of the contracts, E-Trade needing to find those shares. Well, guess what? There's 75 million shares. I'm not saying they're all going to hit the market tonight, but again, he's going to, if it does run him with Roaring Kitty's thing, he will dump shares. And again, that is killing your squeeze, your momentum. That's a lot of shares. I just don't, like, that's the one thing. Like, I wouldn't even talk about this. I wouldn't have even came out and said anything. But why the fuck did you need 75 million shares when you own? And then he comes out and puts out the quarterly report today. Why do you need 75 million shares when you only fucking lost 32 million? You lost 32.3 million, and that's down from 50 million. So what GameStop's doing, because if you come up here and look, the company reported net sales. Their net sales went down to 881.8 million, down from 1.237 billion. Now, this is one of the things I was talking about with GameStop, and I've been talking about with them as a company. They need to pivot. They need to do something right now. Yes, they're getting their costs down, and yes, their net sales are going down, and they're losing less, but that's just because they're closing down stores. They're just closing down stores. They have less costs, so again, you got to expand. You tried to do an NFT marketplace, and that was not very successful. They're closing it down at this point. So one of the things with this, they're getting all of this money, so the only thing I can think of, you either got a merger coming, or they're going to pivot their company, and they need this extra cash to do. I mean, I heard they were trying to maybe get into esports. They're going to have to do some kind of pivot, because, again, you can't be your brick-and-mortar company that's going on. There's just too much competition in that field. As you guys can see, their net sales are dropping. The proof's right there. This business model, it's not going to keep working. So again, eventually he's going to have to do something differently. But you had so much cash. This is my point. You had so much cash. You're making such little cash burn. Why did you need to do this at all? Like, why did you need to do this today? Yes, it was a good move because you just raised billions of dollars. But when it comes to the squeeze play, when it comes to everything else, for everybody that says what they say about Adam Aaron every time, well, what is your reasoning for this to do this right this second today, right before his stream? When you have $2 billion and you're like I said, you have plenty of time. And you guys said this every time about AA. Oh man, he's got $800 million in the bank. Yeah, well, we also have 160 million cash burn. See, this is the difference. Now I'm going to explain to you the difference between AA and Adam Aaron, or AA and Ryan Cohen. He doesn't have debt to pay. We still have $4.3 billion to pay in debt, and a lot of that's coming up kind of soon, where he needs to pay that down. We're also burning 160 to 200 million because the box office hasn't recovered. You're burning 32 million. So circumstances are completely different right now. So like I said, don't give one guy a pass and then be a hypocrite and say, well, it's great for this. No, it's okay to be upset today. Roaring Kitty should have made this thing explode. Like I said, he could have waited till next week for this. So stop giving him a pass and saying everything's great and he's able to raise billions. Ryan Cohen's not raising the billions. It's completely Roaring Kitty. And why I'm saying this is because all CEOs are the fucking same. We just love a stock, so we instantly love our CEO. But they're all the fucking same. They're all going to dilute. They don't care about your play. They don't, as much as you think they are. They're all there for you. No, they're there for their company, and that's what they're supposed to do. And this is what I've told you guys since the beginning. Anytime I ever said anything or said AA's doing what he should be doing for the company, now you understand. But like I said, one of them is debt-free and has all the play in the world. One of them is, his doesn't matter about the box office. It matters what he does. He can control what his company does. AMC relies on Hollywood. It relies on the box office. It can't 100% control its destiny. But these guys can. So again, this is what I'm saying. They need to pivot and they need to do something differently with this cash raise. Because if they just take this cash and they sit on it and nothing becomes of it for, what, another 9 months, a year, then obviously, like I said, this could have waited. But we'll see what happens. So I'm not going to say, like I said, business-wise for GameStop, this was a great move. This is what we should be doing. For the play, it sucks. But like I said, for AMC, this is why I'm trying to explain to you what Adam Aaron was doing each time, too. He wasn't trying to kill your squeeze. He's trying to maximize his fucking dilution, and we all went fucking crazy. We should have never said no in AMC before Ape was created. And this play would have been in a lot different of a situation. Now, again, for AMC, I still think if there's a lot of retail investors that look into bonds and buying the 2026 debt and somehow being able to come as a group to be able to negotiate and push that out, that is still an amazing strategy. But they can't really consider it I can't really say to do that because I guess that would be maybe market manipulation. But like I said, guys, learn bonds too, because that's what I can say. You guys should look into bonds. They're not this scary thing, this evil that they wanted to make us all believe right away. But again, guys, I'm just sick of the hypocrisy because nobody ever look at circumstances, situations, and what happened in the beginning. Like I said, the starting goalpost for Adam Aaron started at 5.82. The starting goalpost for fucking Ryan started at 1.18. That's why I told everybody in the beginning with AMC, fundamentals mattered because why does fundamentals don't matter? Look, here's why fundamentals matter, because I don't get how people don't understand this. Fundamentals don't matter for GameStop as much because GameStop's not burning $200 fucking million a quarter. AMC, look at last quarter. Look at this quarter. We're going to burn $200 million. So we don't have billions in the bank and we have debt. So fundamentals matter because if AMC's burning through that cash, guess what they're going to have to do, guys? They're going to have to raise capital. That's just facts. You can't keep burning $200 million through your reserve. You don't want to get down that low because how are you going to renegotiate debt? If anything happens, how are you going to upgrade your theaters? How are you going to do all this stuff? Get out of leases, lower cash burn, come up with new revenue streams. You're just handcuffing yourself lower and lower and lower. Now you'll get a lower credit rating because now you're in a worse position. Now when you try to renegotiate debt, you're going to need more money for them to even think about it. Or they might not push it up because they're like, no, it's not looking like it's going to be there. Like I said, guys, this all matters. Fundamentals matters. If AMC was burning $32 million total, if AMC was profiting, you would never need to dilute. So again, if you have AMC, go see a fucking movie. AMC, we had 18% votes. Fucking vote on your shares. Give a fuck about your company, because if it doesn't succeed, neither does your play. I don't understand why I have to explain that to people every single time everyone wants to get mad at Adam Aaron. Well, you can either go out of business and file Chapter 11 and your play can go to zero, or he can do what he needs to do to keep going. Because fundamentally, we're not there yet. But again, the box office recovers the rest of this year. 2025, AMC should be profitable. And you're good to go. You're just going to have to get there and have enough cash and everything on hand to where you're fine until you get there. So again, guys, stop giving CEOs, they're all the fucking same, is what I'm getting at. They're all the fucking same. They're all there. Their job is literally to always put the company first. And if you don't believe me, ask this offering. Ask the last offering. This is what, 120 million shares now that he just popped out? And everyone, granted, he raised billions, so it was fucking super smart. But when you pop out 120 million shares for the play, squeeze play, for us, for all of us, they pop 120 million shares out. Well, Jesus, you don't think that helps them out quite a bit? But in the long run, like I said, for GameStop, this was an incredible play. It's going to be very interesting. Now, what I want to see is if Kittty's live stream can overcome all, the amount of shares that he's going to put out now. I'm not saying the squeeze play stop, because now there's people going to go, oh, no, the squeeze play is not stop. See, this is the problem. People just take anything you say and suddenly go out of control and go running with it. No, I'm not saying anything's dead with the squeeze play, because everybody's going to be like, I had DMs earlier. Are you telling me that every time we get a run up, they're going to dilute? Well, no, I mean, at this point, what excuse could Ryan Cohen ever do again for another dilution after this one? If he raises $2.6 billion, he has $4.6 billion in the bank with basically zero fucking debt. What excuse could he ever do to do another offering? I mean, literally, what would he ever need to do another offering for at this point? So for them, I don't see another offering coming again after this. This should be like their final offering. They have way more than enough to live off, to pivot, to change to whatever type of fucking industry, business model, whatever they want to do. They have enough money and then some now beyond belief. Again, for AMC, he even said it in the last call. We need the box office to recover, or we need an opportunity to where he expect some more dilution now, or expect another exchange for equity for that 2026 until he can, and then he'll push it off. So again, this box office being as shitty as it was, we're barely over $1 billion. We need to be about 1.8 billion to be around profitability, 1.9. We're not making it. So, but again, I'm frustrated as fuck with this. To me, like I said, it was smart, but all he needed to do was 20 million shares, 20 million shares, and it would have been absolutely zero, no big deal to the play. That would have been bought up the second Kittty talked. But what the fuck did you need 75 million for? And then when you read what it's about, it's the typical, because you have all these people freaking out. Guys, this isn't like every single fucking one. This might be used for acquisitions and mergers, and everyone go, oh my god, they're using it automatically to merger. Now, there's 0% chance he's doing this to buy AMC's debt. I don't know why everybody... AMC guys, there's no way in hell he's doing this to buy AMC's debt. There's no way. So, that's not happening. But again, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this, because again, what they do with this money could change everything. If they pivot into a great business model, if they change, like I said, it could change everything for GME. So this was a good play, but I mean, like I said, I just don't understand to the extent. 75 million, good grief. But one of the things, and last night, I mean, look how close Kittty was to being a billionaire. So last night, Kittty needed to get to $69 to be a billionaire, and it ended up getting to $67.24. So that was pretty nuts. He was that close to being a billionaire last night. But that's the other thing with Robinhood. And I keep telling people, one, you should not be in fucking Robinhood. You need to get the hell out of there already. But all these people that do this overnight buying and freak out. I mean, I have people, again, they DM me last time this happened. And then they DM me this time it happens. They buy on the run-up in the after hours in the overnight. And then they're like shocked that it came down the next day. And I'm like, stop fucking doing that. If you guys aren't watching, each time it kept running up in the overnight, and then it would plummet in the morning. But these people are buying in the overnights at like the 50 price. I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I didn't want to miss it. You guys, we got to be smarter than the I didn't want to miss it. There is you can also play things down. I'm not, advising you to do it that way either. But I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it other than, oh my God, I missed it. Like, stop buying in the fucking overnight runs on the runs. Get the hell out of Robinhood. Just get the fuck out of that shit already. And we already know little Vladdy boy is corrupt as hell. Just get out of this shit. And but the one person in the world right now that woke up today and loved this offering, nobody more than this Andrew left. Andrew left last night when this thing was first time he went on. He bet against this on the run up. He lost over 100%. And then last night he was down again over like 130%. But the price came back down this morning, luckily for this guy. But he was talking, just whining about it, talking about over a cult stock and stuff. So, I mean, these guys, they are fucking around. They are finding out. But like I said, guys, CEOs will be CEOs. So stop being so fucking furious and thinking they're out to get you. No, the point of me showing you all that is they're out to put their company first and put their company ahead. That's what they're doing. If Adam Aaron wanted to get you, he wouldn't have came up with Ape. He would have just let fucking Chapter 11 happen and went on his merry way. He would have started selling some shares off and went on his way. He would have been fine. He wouldn't have gave a fuck. He already made tons of money. He would have moved on with his life. No, this is what CEOs do. They take advantages on run-ups and they maximize dilution and they call it smart dilution. And you guys want to talk shit when one guy does it because he can raise a large amount of capital. Again, if Adam Aaron had a roaring kitty and we had somebody that could pop it up to $30, you don't think Adam Aaron's going to dilute us at $30? Fuck yeah. But he doesn't have a kitty to turn it from fucking 18 to 45 to 60 in one day. Again, like I said, I just don't want people always giving Ryan Cohen credit for what Roaring Kitty is. I want you to understand how big of a force Roaring Kitty is. How big of a force retail, if you guys just unite and learn what is going on, educate yourself, learn about the market. Why do I show you corruption? Because if you know how the corruption works, you know what's going on in the back end. You know what's happening all around. You can play the corruption. Now, one of the things... God, look at this douchebag. I hate this dude. I just want to smack that smug little face, dude. This dude turned the buy button off and isn't in prison. All those brokers should have been. Like I said, we now have the ability to hold these brokers liable. I still don't know why we haven't held these brokers liable. I think that's a big downfall that nobody or nothing's gone out of that lawsuit out of Delaware. I mean, even like an institution or somebody should be suing these guys. But I do want to talk about something that's important. The classic bullshit. I don't like to talk about politicians. I never tell you politician side. I never talk about right or left. I don't give a fuck. They're all corrupt. They're all corrupt as hell. I don't give a shit. Your government's not for you at this point. They're there for their paychecks. They're there for their dark money bribes. And I've shown you every single time when these fucking piles of shit take bribes, and we'll get into another one here in a second. But the thing that actually does matter here, and the thing that does affect us quite a bit, actually. So the House now sends out a new spending bill. Okay, so this still needs... So the House sends this out, and it cuts the SEC's budget. Okay. Not only does it cut the SEC's budget, but what they want to do is take the SEC's ability away to use the CAT system. They want the CAT system up and operational, but they don't want the SEC to be able to access the information. I mean, it's literally the most fucking insane thing I have ever seen in my entire life. So they're trying to cut their expenses, of course. They want to give them less people to be able to survey all of this stuff. They're saying that the SEC is, they're not in there. Okay, well, this is what I think is so fucking funny. You have all these people talking about, well, these regulators over here in the SEC, they're corrupt. They're not doing their job. They're not this. Okay. Don't you guys have the power to get rid of them then? Like, don't you guys have the power to fix all of this? Instead, you complain about how a regulator is corrupt. So since they're corrupt, we'll just give them less money until they figure it out. Okay. So they're trying to get rid of their cash, but they also want to get rid of, if you guys read here, I'm going to go ahead and post this link. If you also read here, though, which is actually pretty funny. So come down here if you're following along with the link, scroll down, you'll see General Service Administration. It's like, well, it's about like, I think it's the second to last page. It's the second last page, so page 6. You'll scroll right down, look down here in the middle. Now listen to this. It prohibits the SEC from implementing or collecting information related to the CAT. They're like, so basically what happened is the police got a brand new speed gun called the CAT system. It's a lot more accurate, and they can gun people from way farther away. Okay, you're not gonna see these guys. They'll see you before you see them type a radar system. Okay. Now all of a sudden Congress comes over and goes, "Fuck that! Those are too strong. Those radar guns are too good. We want to take those away. We're gonna make it so they're there, but policemen can't use them. We're gonna have to put those things. We're gonna lock those things away in the safe, but the cops can't have access. Like, they're there, but only policemen can't have them. Like, if special services need them, FBI, if we need the, CIA, if all these people need it, they can use it. Well, when the fuck do they need a speed gun? They're not going to use the speed gun. So basically you have something you created that you want no one to have access to other than people who won't use it. Congratulations, Congress. No, Beat Power says nobody's going to write their representatives. Well, you're actually an idiot, because last time I told people to write their representatives, thousands didn't and actually made an impact. So again, I'm going to say this one more time. Everybody, write your congressman, call your congressman, tell them to fuck themselves, and make sure that they know this can't go through. Once again, they're trying to, now that they couldn't stop the CAT system from being implemented. They couldn't stop it. They were trying to get it to stop. They couldn't stop it. Well, now it's too late. Now it's at the point where they're collecting customer information. Now, one of the problems is right off the bat, Keith Gill, this started on that Friday, and the second that happened, that customer information went live, he came out. And now they're able to track E-Trade. Now, this is for all your conspiracy theories that want to say that these guys are working together. Maybe there was a phone call made, because here's the thing. If E-Trade can't locate these shares, the CAT system now is tracking everything, because, again, it will track how they're getting it. How did they fill those shares? Who exercised the shares? Who sold them? How did they fucking fill those shares for those exercise calls? Those are all going to be tracked now. Which is one of the reasons, again, why I think Keith came on top of the swaps and 1 second here, my phone's going off. It's my wife. My wife just woke up. She's all right. Well, like I said, now that all this is coming again, they couldn't stop the CAT system. Now they basically want to take away the cops' ability to use it. Well, if they take their ability away to use it, we're basically going back to self-reported OAT system. We're going back to the OAT system. We're going back to these brokers doing self-reported numbers. Now, what did we just go over last time? Citadel is going to do an exchange with BlackRock. Now, that's a major conflict of interest, and it's fraud, and it's a Ponzi scheme. Because in the end of the day, what's going to end up happening is Citadel's the #1 market maker. So what's Citadel going to do? They're going to make sure that all order flow that comes through Citadel goes to that exchange, or Citadel themselves will internalize the order. They will fill it through the CNS program, which we all learned, the CNS program. Billions and billions and billions of shares can be rehypothecated, and they have special exemptions in the CNS program where those shares basically never need to be filled. They can keep pushing them off, and they can wait until time where there's enough volume, Or what they can do is mark them as segregated, because if they mark them as a segregated need, and then they say that I have to fill this share with another order, it gives them another extension, so they can keep extending shares through the CNS program. I also showed you that they're no longer allowed to give them share buybacks or enforce share buybacks in the CNS program. Your good old government went ahead and accepted a bill that took the ability for them to enforce buybacks in the CNS program. So currently there are billions and billions and billions of shares that are FTDs that are sitting in what we call the DTCC CNS program. Again, it's called the Continuous Net Settlement System. It says it in the name. If you want to check this out, again, guys, here's the link for this. Now, so they can't stop this. They're trying to now, like I said, just take away the entire gun system. So we need to write to Congress once again, make your voices heard. I know people sit there and be like, no, it doesn't matter. It mattered last time, and it will matter this time. The only way you make congressmen, the only way you make politicians listen is if you tell them their vote's on the line. I'm not voting for you. And if suddenly 1,000 people say it, a couple hundred more people say it, and thousands and maybe even 1 million people say it, next thing you notice, they're going to go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to start changing my tune because I'm going to lose my paycheck. And that's what it's all about. Now, when the reverse repo started draining, what happened? Nvidia blew up. So in other words, the feds, as I told you, the feds were not going to be able to keep bailing these banks out. These banks are going to have less and less cash on hand, less available liquidity right then and there that they could park overnight. So they're going to all need to do something to make up that money. So what they all did, they all ran and crashed into Nvidia. Nvidia's fucking market cap is just flowing up, and their sales and everything are just unbelievable. Well, the reason I bring this up, and I keep bringing this up, and I'm going to show you a little bit more, is because we've gotten to the point where we've chased them all to the last hill. Okay? They're all on their final hill. Every single one of them, basically all of their collateral now, relies on Nvidia. It all relies on Nvidia. When Nvidia starts crashing, they're going to have problems left and fucking right. And on top of that, when this commercial real estate bomb comes, they're going to have more and more and more problems left and right. So if you guys look over here, I want to show you something. Because last time when I talked about this in my last video, I told you the guy that worked on Enron was at Nvidia, but I was mistaken. He works at Nvidia's #1 Ponzi scheme. He works at Nvidia's #1 fake client, Coreweave. Not only does he work at Coreweave, he is Coreweave's CEO. Since he started working there, I want to jump ahead to one tab real quick before we get into the knit and grit here. Since he started working there, hold on. Since he started working there, they were only making $30 million in revenue. A couple years later, they're up to $5 billion in revenue. Now, why do I bring this guy up? This guy, he found out about Enron's scandal, and he knew exactly how they did it. Then he worked at Enron. He understood the strategies that Enron did. He knew exactly when they were doing it, what to look for, and how to do it. He knew how they were cooking books. He knew exactly what columns that he could change. So to get under regulation, to get by on regulators, to scope through everything. And then he knew how they were able to manipulate prices on things to also keep his position on Enron to look green and look like it was okay. So this guy now is their #1 company. He's their So basically, this guy's a scam artist. This guy's an insane scam artist. He's their number one client. He's their number one customer. He is the one that they gave the $5 billion infusion to. But then they lied to everybody because they told everybody that they got $5 billion in infusion and they got chips, when really almost all of it was cloud services that nobody would ever use. These other companies get these giant massive valuations, all these shell companies. So then these shell companies get a ton of money right away. They instantly go out and they buy Nvidia's stock, or no, sorry, not their stock, their computer chips, to keep the price afloat and keep revenue afloat. But the number one thing that they're doing with these shell companies is Nvidia is selling them all of these. They're giving them all of these chips. They're giving them all these things, right? But 1 second. Give me that, baby. Sorry, my dog had a piece of paper. I didn't know what it was. But so, anyways, so what they were doing is they're giving all of these people these chips, but these shell companies are not paying Nvidia. So what they're doing is Nvidia's spiking this column, which is accounts payable. I'm sorry, accounts receivable. Payable is Coca-Cola, how Coca-Cola did their scam. They're doing accounts receivable, which means all of these people got their product. All of these people got their product. And they're owed all of this money, okay? So they're owed tons of money. But what the problem is it's all of these small shell companies that Nvidia is basically creating. And then they're giving them these small companies contracts. These people invest into them, so they're basically buying their own chips. And then what happens is those shell companies go under, okay? So they'll go bankrupt. They can't live up to their evaluations. They never could, because people thought, hey, Nvidia gave them $5 billion in chips when it was only $1.2 billion and $3.8 billion in cloud services. They can't live up to their $5 billion expectation, and that shell company closes. But Nvidia doesn't care that they're closing. They have that accounts receivable column spiked. So they keep on making shell companies, keep getting people to invest, fuck their investors over. Is my screen skipping? 1 second here. I don't know why it'd be choppy. Let me close some stuff. Maybe that'll help. I do have a lot of shit open. All right, is it still choppy for you guys, or is this better? I'm just waiting a second, letting it catch up a second, Well, some people are saying they're choppy, some are saying not. It might be you guys' in as well. On the bottom, my bitrate's running. Hold on, let's see what this is. My bitrate's running fine, so it might be you guys. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna keep going here. I don't want to slow down on the people that are not lagging here. So, but again, so now what you have is all of these shell companies going under that owe Nvidia money. But Nvidia is still counting it as revenue. They're still counting it as profit because it's receivable. It's money that's owed to them. But the problem is when these shell companies go under, that money that's owed to them is obviously not going to be coming in anymore. So what Nvidia is doing is they're praying that just to make an example, to use our $5 billion as evaluation. So they're hoping that they give a $5 billion evaluation, okay? And they're hoping that their companies can get enough money on the capital raises, on the funding from investors, that Nvidia can make enough to get the $1.2 billion back. So everybody thinks they have the $5 billion, and Nvidia's praying that from investors they get the $1.2 billion. And if they get the $1.2 billion, they can close that shell company down, and then they make the $1.2 billion back, because they'll make Coreweave pay them first. They'll be a top contract type situation. They'll make special writing in their thing. Hey, you're a first lien lender. You're a first priority. Blah blah blah. So then they'll pray to God that they can break even on that shell company, but just to be able to report that extra revenue, cooking your books, that is enough to make your stock price rise, because you're cooking the books by billions and billions and billions. And by also doing that, Nvidia is keeping their computer chip price high, and they can keep raising it and say, oh, there's so much demand. But the problem is they're buying their own product. They're creating fake demand, and they're creating fake revenue. Now, if you look over here, this is what I was talking about. So this is what they did in Enron, and this is why I bring this up. In Enron, before the crash, before this all took place, their accounts receivable skyrocketed. Look familiar? It's the same situation. This guy over here at Coreweave, who Coreweave is their number one customer, is inflating Nvidia's price and showing Nvidia how to do it. It's just like they did with fucking Enron did with all the gas prices, but he's just flipping it. Instead of shorting it, he's going long. He's teaching them how to cook the books. And if you look over here, this talks over back here, it talks about Coreweave. This is him himself. I don't want to play this, actually. He pretty much just goes over all the stuff about we got this $5 billion funding and blah, blah, blah. And he talks about all these chips and how they're backed by Nvidia and all this blah. And they're not. They're not. It's just a big fucking scam of an act. They're fool's gold. All of them right now are jumped on fool's gold. And they have that commercial real estate bomb that's coming. I just showed you 130 banks. 130 banks are either insolvent, or the second commercial real estate comes, it's over 200 to 300% of their equity. They will go under. You have 130 banks that are about to go under, or should have already gone under. So lenders are going to go under, less credit available. These hedge funds are now going to, and everybody's going to be sitting on a company that's fool's gold. And why do I bring Nvidia up? Because this is important. Oh, and not only that, I'm going to show you one more scam before I get into why this matters. Also, this came out today. The other way that Nvidia is pumping their prices and their revenue, and they're cooking their books, they're doing an illegal loophole. Well, it's a loophole, so I guess it's not illegal. It should be illegal. They're getting around a U.S. restriction to selling these Chinese companies their chips. So what these Chinese companies are doing is creating shell companies over in the United States. If they create a shell company over in the United States, and they're on United States soil, Nvidia can now do it, or they can now rent their chips. So they're now renting their chips to Chinese companies that are shell companies that are being made on U.S. soil. So as soon as this gets figured out as well, there's a whole bunch more revenue because they're renting out their chips. They're creating more demand by renting out their chips to companies that should be illegal to rent it out. Again, boosting numbers, gray area loopholes that should be illegal. So, why does this all matter? Well, this came out yesterday. The Department of Justice is now investigating Nvidia. They're investigating Microsoft. They're investigating AIs. They're doing 2 different investigations. One of these investigations is over the monopoly law, because Microsoft and Nvidia obviously have a monopoly in the AI sector. You basically can only go to one or the other for the chips. And you're talking about a $1 trillion industry. So suddenly, if you only have 2 options, you're talking about a huge monopoly. Huge monopoly. So this could cause problems for Nvidia. On top of that, they're also getting investigated for antitrust laws that they're currently breaching. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because again, AI models required thousands of chips. Nvidia and Meta developed its own AI model called Llama. It has spent billions on Nvidia's graphics processing unit, and this thing called Llama apparently is bolstering Nvidia's year-over-year revenue by more than 250%. Oh, and guess who's getting this thing? These chips. They're shell companies. Their project called Llama is the Ponzi scheme. Now, news of antitrust investigation follow concern the AI industry's rapid advancement, despite lack of oversight and whistleblower protection. Now, would somebody come forward at this point if there was any protection for these whistleblowers? Or are all these guys looking over at the Boeing guys and saying, well, they're all committing suicide? 60-70% of whistleblowers seem to kill themselves because apparently after you get all this money for telling on criminals, it eats at your soul. Apparently, God, I just feel so bad for. I'm telling you guys this. I expose criminals every day. I expose all their court things. I fucking talk shit to them every single day. All these rich assholes. And I have zero thoughts of killing myself. I don't sit there and go, man, I shouldn't have said that stuff to Dougie Fresh today. I shouldn't have showed the world how him and Vincent Viola are stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from iron workers' retirement funds, and then the court case comes out. Good. I hope you lose that court case, Doug. You're a piece of shit. Let's keep exposing these fucking criminals. Nobody exposes a criminal and goes, I'm going to commit suicide because I feel so bad. No, these guys are getting offed because it's the mafia fucking lynching out there. It's ridiculous. Boeing should be fucking... the amount of suicides related to certain people and things, like, yeah, okay, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out, but here, like I said, all Ponzi schemes, all things come to an end. Now, eventually, Nvidia's thing's gonna fall. Well, they needed a story to have it fall. Well, what happens if suddenly people go, well, Nvidia, well, they got a monopoly against them, blah, 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 they're gonna have to do this, and this. Well, perfect reason to drop Nvidia's stock price. Not that it's a Ponzi scheme. You got to start creating your fucking narratives. Well, here you go. Oh, they're breaking monopoly laws. Oh, they're breaking antitrust laws. Oh, they're over here doing more illegal gray loopholes with China. Good job, Nvidia. And I already showed you with Microsoft. Microsoft, biggest pile of shit. Bill Gates should be in fucking prison. Microsoft got out of paying billions of dollars in taxes. How? Well, they went ahead and they made a shell company in Mexico. They went over to the Mexican government, made a deal with the Mexican government that they could make a shell company, and they wanted to funnel billions of dollars over to Mexico. And they'd pay Mexico a small fee. And Mexico goes like, fuck yeah. You save yourself billions, and we'll take hundreds of millions, and we'll turn that into pesos, and it'll be worth billions. And we'll be fucking jacked. Sweet. So what they did is they put a shell company over there. This shell company had 8 workers, and it was a small factory, and it was worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. And what were they doing in this? Microsoft sold to this company that they owned as a shell company all the rights to own the software and the AI technology to print Microsoft onto CDs. This 5-man company that was worth $100 billion was printing Microsoft onto CDs, and Microsoft owned it. So Microsoft was funneling billions and billions of dollars to this company because they were printing fucking CDs for them. And then in reality, the government went over and they investigated and found out there was no reason for this company, other than to get out of paying like $20 billion in fucking taxes. I'm sorry. $20 billion. $29 billion. I'm sorry. They went over and they made a shell company in Puerto Rico. It saved them $30 billion that they should have paid in taxes. And instead they jacked their fucking books, extra cash on hand, extra revenue, wherever they wanted to put it. Sweet. So again, they're sitting on fool's gold. The commercial real estate bomb's gonna fucking smash their heads in, and now they're getting investigated by the Doge. And they're getting investigated for having monopoly laws. The Doge Department will look at Nvidia has violated antitrust laws. The Doge was also responsible for investigating and prosecuting Enron. You notice how Enron, this guy had nothing to do with anything, and then he instantly brings up Enron. Do you guys understand how Enron keeps coming up? You understand how I keep showing you Enron, and it follows them? And this fucking guy who was one of the main contributors of the Enron Ponzi scheme is their main client. I mean, if it takes me 5 seconds to figure this out, how long is it going to take the Doge? Like you said, where the hell is my... Lost my tab. Here you go. But like I said, a Nvidia story. Oh, here I go. I told everybody right here about how Nvidia is doing the same shit. They're moving. They have other places where they're doing the same thing. They have shell companies that they're selling proprietary software that only they can use it. And it's a 5-man fucking... They're both doing it to evade taxes by the billions of dollars. Federal Trade Commission. Now, I told you guys, the Federal Trade Commission was looking into Nvidia. They're looking into the shell companies. So you have the Federal Trade Commission now looking into Nvidia's Ponzi scheme. You now have the Doge looking into it as well. On top of that, what else you got it? Oh, yeah. Nvidia is now worth as much as the entire Chinese stock market. So you're now the biggest Ponzi scheme fraud in the entire world, and you don't think that's going to catch some people's eyes. Eventually, you're going to catch people's eyes, and all of them are on top of that hill that's going to get... Right now, you have the you have the Doge, you have, like I said, the Trade Commission. You have all these guys putting sticks at the bottom of the hill, and they're getting ready to light that fire. They just need excuses to let it drop, other than the fact that it's a shell company. Now, I want you guys to look at this to show you what I'm talking about. Coreweave, which is a scam, was one of their number one. This is their number 5. This is their number 5 client. And as you guys can see, this is Nvidia's. This is their elite core partner here that they want to talk up. And oh man, number 5, this is our elite partner that doesn't do shit. It's this piece of trash. Piece of trash. And it's out of Singapore. And it's just like a scam office building. You can clearly tell this is not a high tech. This is not a big company. This is not something anybody would brag about. This is a 5-man small business front. Once again, Nvidia has multiple ones of these that they're claiming are these massive ass companies just raking in billions of dollars that are worth all of this money when they're little shops. They're literally shops. I didn't want to pull all of these up, every single tab, so I just put them all into one for you guys. So I'm sorry I'm showing you it like this, but just made it way easier and quicker. Again, Coreweave went from 30 million. This guy comes on in, starts the Ponzi scheme, and now they're making 5 billion. You don't think somebody's going to look at this and go, what the fuck happened? What was the magic sauce? What happened? Nvidia happened. That's it. Okay. Well, what's going on here with Nvidia? You guys told people you got a $5 billion contract worth of chips, but you only got 1.2. So you lied to investors. That's fraud. So you did fraud to all your investors that invested in your company at this valuation. What do you think is going to happen when that news comes out? Investors are going to want to pull out of Coreweave. Coreweave is their number one fucking client. Nvidia, have fun. So, last thing here, before I get into all this stuff, because again, we always like to expose the criminals. And again, the only way that these guys are going to... I showed you all the bribes that were going on in the last stream. Now you got this fucking bitch here, Miss Katie Hobbs. Miss Katie Hobbs was busted taking a $400,000 bribe for some state contracts. Now this is what I've been talking to you guys about for 3 years. Dark money. Why do I bring this up? This donation came from a dark money group. Now this is why I keep telling you guys. The government will never work for you. We need to reset the government at this point. The government will never work for you because you pay them $125,000. Well, these dark money groups, they pay these guys millions of dollars to vote the way they want them to vote. You should not be able to have lobbyists and all these pieces of shit paying people to vote the way they want to fucking vote, or to lobby for these pieces of shit and just be the only ones in these guys' ear. This bitch... These dark money bribes are untraceable. So this got out because somebody who worked close with her or worked with the organization got it out. These are untraceable donations. These are untraceable bribes, and they're unanimous. So nobody knows who's fucking donating these. But guess what? They know there's a donation there. Now, I've shown you guys the last 3 elections. The last 3 elections were won by the party who had the most dark money contributed to their campaign. Is that a coincidence, or are rich people buying the fucking... Are they buying the election? I don't know. But I wanted to show you guys this because, again, this dark money group, and I showed you with the last election. The first time in U.S. history, dark money topped $1 billion. Mostly went to Democrats. Who won? The Democrats. Well, that is $1 billion in untraceable, unanimous donations. $1 billion these guys got. I mean, look at Joe. He can't be any prouder. Look at him. He can't be any prouder as he's wearing his mask. He can't be any prouder. There we go. You got the breakdown right there. There is your $660 million contribution to political groups. So, I mean, good grief, dude. They're saying that they spent the $1 billion. How much? Oh, so this is $1 billion that they got donated $1 billion. That all went towards, apparently, to them spending. How much of it went to that they didn't spend? How much did they keep? How much really went to the Democrats? I don't know. Probably a couple extra $100 million went to the party, and now they own it, and you'll never know. Pretty simple. This is just what they know that they spent out of. So, I think the kitty cat's starting here pretty quick. Is he starting here? Let me check. I think he's starting in like 6 minutes, or is it an hour? Let me see. I honestly can't remember if it's... He live. 70,000 waiting, 64 minutes. So we still got an hour. But I'm going to look at the chat. What do you guys think? Like, what are you guys' thoughts on this offering? I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on 75 million shares? I'm gonna answer any questions you guys got. I went over everything I wanted to go over. I just definitely wanted everyone to understand about these CEOs. Stop thinking they're out to get you. Stop thinking that they're fucking teaming up with the shorts. The lenders, like I said, you guys, with AMC, the lenders don't want you to go bankrupt. Why? Because the lenders have fucking $4.2 billion in this play. AMC does not own they don't own the theaters, guys. They rent them out. So if you're a lender, what am I going to get if your company goes under? I'm going to get a whole bunch of projectors, and I'm going to get about $700 million when I'm owed $4.2 billion. Do you think the lenders want to lose $3.2 billion? Fuck no. The lenders are not out to get you. Are some of them shorting? Of course. But at the same time, they want to short appropriately for the lenders. There's tons of other people at play that are, like I said, market makers, all this shit. The fact that I already showed you, everybody showed you, GameStop reported showed you during the run-up, there was more exposure in AMC than GME at the time. And then they turned the buy button off, and where did it all go? I showed you guys there was 50 million FTDs. 50 million FTDs on 824 for AMC. And the next day, the price didn't move. And the very next day, it went to 11,000. How did 49 million shares get bought and filled with no movement? They didn't. They got swapped over. Again, there's more FTDs that are rolling, continuously rolling FTDs on this hot potato game than you guys can fucking imagine. Alright, I'm going to look over and like I said, I'm just going to read the chat here. Yeah, the timing sucked, like I said. And this is the thing here. Ryan Cohen, even on the last dilution, why did he wait till it went back down to 20? Why didn't he start diluting at a higher price? When it ran up last time, he could have got more. Like I said, if Ryan Cohen would have came out today, this is what I think he should have done. He should have came out today and said, hey, we're going to sell 15 to 20 million shares. Bam. Let me pull up GameStop right now. GameStop's at $34. Almost 35 at this point. So, even if let's just pop this up here. Down my head. So, if he would have even just did what? 15, let's just say he did 15 million. About like what? $35 and like let's say 50 cents because it's been kind of popping around. He still could have made $532 million. Sold 15 million off, and like I said, you could have got the next run up and then let the price fly up from Roaring Kittty, and then maybe dropped it again. I guess, like I said, I just don't get why you just pop off 75 million on that thing, because like I said, I mean, what you only had 32 million cash burn. You only lost $32 million, and you had $2 billion. What are your plans with this cash? I guess it's a wait and see type thing. But like I said, fuck, man, you had everything. Here's why it's upsetting. You had E-Trade that was about to get fucked. You had everything. You had the pressure cooker ready to go. Like, it was ready to rock. And for some reason, you decided to pop that little vent on top and let the steam out. Like, bro, do it on Monday. Do it after Kittty. Do it after, like, this makes me hate Vlad even more. Oh, we're all ready for the fucking frenzy. We got it all ramped up. We're good to go. Yeah, because you had extra fucking shares on hand coming to you, jackass. And get the hell off Robinhood. But, like I said, guys, don't fall in love with the CEO. You can fall in love with the play, but don't just fall in love with a CEO every time. You don't have to agree with every move that they do. You don't have to hate them over every move they do. At least try and look at it from a CEO's point of view. They have to run a company. Them running a company is more important to a CEO than them giving you guys a squeeze play. And that's all I'm saying. So stop thinking one's out to get you and one's better. The big difference, again, one started out at $6 billion debt. The other one started out at $1 billion. He raised this the first and went down to nothing. He didn't raise $6 billion. He didn't get to come out and raise $6 billion. So one got to start a lap, and it was a 3-mile race, and one got to start 2 miles ahead. It matters. It completely matters. And again, GameStop, they never ever got denied shares. Adam got denied shares and then created Ape, so he didn't get Chapter 11. Why did we deny him that time? Because everybody was fucking, oh, we're at $20. We can't fucking do that. If we go to $20, we'll kill the squeeze play. We say that every fucking time. We'll kill the squeeze play if we dilute at a higher number. No, you won't. You'll raise a lot of capital and put the company in a great spot. The shorts, just because there's dilution right away doesn't mean that the shorts are going to buy it. But here's the difference right now between GameStop. The reason I'm pissed off is because E-Trade would have bought it. It's not like with, like I said, let's pretend Adam Aaron did a 15 million share offering or something, just for an example. Did a 15 million share offering. Shorts aren't going to look over and go, fuck, I better buy up those 15 million shares. Retail will buy those shares. It's not that big of a deal. But today for GameStop, with those contracts and everything, they would have needed to go get those fucking shares. It would have had to happen. It would have had to have a price action. You would have had to seen something. So that's just what sucks. Like a lot of people are like, he's just taking advantage of the high volume. That's not a great excuse, taking advantage of the high volume. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and dog on him because I don't know what he's going to do with this money. I did think doing a capital raise today was going to be smart. I was honestly wondering if he was going to do something like this because I was like, man, I wonder if he's going to drop like a $15-20 million offering and just skyrocket off Kittty quick and then put themselves in a position to be good for years. They can now do whatever. But like I said, I just don't get $75 million. There's nothing logically in my mind that goes... I mean, like I said, what are we at right now? I'm just sick of fucking, like I said, motherfuckers. This was a fucking pressure cooker, dude. We're at 33.70 right now. 33.60. Alright. So again, you're at $33, so maybe not. So let's just say he averages. Because I mean, if he dilutes, so if he does dilute more, if we don't get a raise, let's just do. He's obviously not going to sell 75 million shares a day, but let's just pretend he. So let's just do about like 34.10. Let's go about 34.10 is what. So even if he sells all of his shares, I'm guessing he's going to honestly make around 2.557 billion when it's all said and done. If he capitalizes why it's still at this elevated price as well throughout the entire sale of this offering, he could get about 2.557 billion. That's more than you have in the bank. Like what that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the need to be able to double your reserve right now when you're only burning 30? What was the rush? Why not just let today play out and make the... That's what I'm saying, man. Why not let Kittty... Here's the thing. No other stock, no other play, no other anything other than GameStop today had the amount of instant, like eyes on it suddenly, pressure on it. Nobody's got like... Dude, I swear to God, if I was a multi-millionaire, if I would have made $51 million, if I would have been playing it to where I had money like Roaring Kittty... I would try my best, and I would be the Roaring Kitty of fucking AMC. I would be popping it all in there. I still believe in that company. I still believe in that play, and I still believe those FTDs and all those swaps and everything is so fucking ridiculous in AMC. And when these lenders go down, I still believe they're going to have to cover. Just because I believe it. I believed a lot of things, and they seem to fucking... They're criminals, and they're rich criminals. But eventually, the system has to collapse on itself. Greed takes over. Too many people got over leveraged. Too many people aren't going to be able to pay things, and banks are going to go down. And this is the difference. When banks start to collapse, guess what? Show me one time in history when there was a banking crisis and bank collapses, and it didn't affect stocks and everything else, and hedge funds and lenders. It always does. But we've never had it to where you might have 130 banks go down, 20, 50, 40 banks go down. Nah, I'm not the roaring kitty, man. I don't have power to where I could say, "Hey guys, I like AMC," and all of a sudden, and the stock price is gonna jump. I don't have any pull. Like, I could say something tomorrow. I could say, "Hey, I think AMC is gonna fly tomorrow," or anything. I can't get pull like that, dude. AM's roaring kitties on a mountain of his own. Like, I appreciate it, but man, nobody's a roaring kitty, man. What he did for everybody, none of us would have even been here. How many of you guys wouldn't even be in the stock market? That dude is a fucking legend beyond legend. I can't believe people are still using Robinhood either. It's fucking blows my mind, dude. And people are go, well, everyone else shut the buy button off. Well, great. Everyone else is in payment for order flow. Everyone else, there are other people where you can direct route your trades and actually take it away from Citadel. It's not about who took the buy button away. I don't give a fuck what broker you use. I could give a shit less. As long as you could direct route your trades. If you can direct route your trades, you're winning. If you're direct routing your trades, you're taking it out of Ken Griffin's hands. You're taking it out of your enemy's hands, and you're taking money away from them. This is why I have said many times, this post right here on Twitter needs to be my #1 post. It has to be. If you don't know how to direct route your trades, I went and found how to direct route a trade in every single platform. If you don't know how to do it on your platform, it's right here. Smart routing, you change it off, you turn it to where you want it to be. Come over to here, you change your destination. On every platform, I show you how to do it. Every one. And if you don't know on that one, I'll show you how to do it on the next tab. I will show you how to do it on all of these platforms. So, little things matter because there's things people that are called controllables. Controllables are things like banks. Banks' power. You can take your money out of the banks because the banks are your enemies. Well, if you take money out of the banks, that's less fuckery they're able to do. On top of that, you might margin or close a bank down if everybody starts to figure out the Ponzi scheme that's in the bank. And that will have a ripple effect and hurt other fucking criminals. Because in the end of the day, I'm not saying all banks are criminals. There are good banks out there. Like I said, my local bank over in Rosemount, it's this mom and pop bank. I went to school with their kid. Like, they're not out doing nefarious shit. They're just making interest off whatever loans and houses, and they're not fucking retarded. They're just following the rules. They're not greedy pieces of shit that need to fucking steal from everyone. There are good banks out there. Problem is none of those good banks out there are big. So, well, I can't say they're not big because there are big credit unions. There are big credit unions that are actually good. So, again, credit unions are always the way to go. Again, look into the credit union. Again, look at how they make their money. If it's commercial real estate, you can, right when you walk in, you can just ask the manager. He'll know right away. He'll tell you in 2 minutes. All you say is, how do you guys make your most money? Do you do it in commercial real estate, house loans? Do you guys do it in auto loans? What's your #1 source of revenue? He'll tell you right away. And that's all you need to know. And if it's commercial real estate, you should probably back out of that. So, Bigums, including short interest. What happens with all the buys they routed to dark pools and were FTDs? Will those ever hit the market? Well, the thing is an FTD doesn't matter at this point if it's went through a dark. It doesn't matter what route that the venue it took for the order. In the end of the day, if they didn't fill it in time, it's still going to count as an FTD. It'll still show up. So yeah, they're still going to see it. Especially with the CAT system now. This is why they're so afraid of the CAT system and FTDs, because now you're going to have this entire trade the entire time. It's the whole life cycle. Remember, it's got those 4 pings now. So the second the FTD takes place, well, they're going to still see that it hasn't been filled. So they'll see at the end of that trade cycle that it's incomplete. So they'll know it'll be an FTD because they'll have a venue ID. So it'll know it went to a dark pool. It'll know. See, that's the thing. It's not really that it went to a dark pool. It's where did the market maker say that they filled it? Did the market maker say they filled it in the dark pool? It's not like... I'm trying to think out. It's not like they could magically not get that tracked at this point. Like I said, no matter where it goes, no matter what venue that order goes, it'll be tracked. So there's no way to really get around it. Well, they cover it. That's the thing. These rolling FTDs under the iceberg you guys don't see. I don't know how high the number is. It's got to be fucking massive. And hot potato and resetting the cycle to stay off reg show. I don't know. It's going to keep costing them a fee. It's going to keep costing them a fee. And eventually they'll not be able to afford the fee, or the other person will, someone will get caught with it. It's just you want to make sure you're not the one getting caught with the rolling FTDs, or you're going to get fucked. GME, did GME just get halted? Sorry, I'm not really even watching right now anything. GME is halted. What a joke. Well, I guess, hey, at least they halted it on the way down for once, right? See what's going on here. Does anyone else have any questions at all, though? Navy Federal. Yeah, Navy Federal Credit Union. That's a good one. There's no way. There's no way that's doing crazy shit or going under. I wouldn't worry about that at all. Just making sure I'm just reading all the chat quick. I don't know if you guys have any more questions at all, but yeah, like I said, not gonna lie, this offering does upset me. Ryan. How's the miss feeling? She's doing good. She's doing good. Baby's doing good. Family's doing good, man. Everyone's happy and healthy and home, so can't complain. Roaring Kitty ain't gonna talk to me, man. That dude. I know exactly what questions I would ask him too. I have 5 questions I'd ask him. I know exactly what they'd be too. Well, I don't know if he would be able to answer a couple of them, but I would have some good questions for him. All right, let's check out what's going on in the universe here. I'm just waiting for the kitty to start at this point. Here's a question for you guys. What do you think Kitty's going to say today? Let's go over that. What do I think Roaring Kitty's going to do today? There's a couple things I think he's going to do. He's either going to just, hey guys, be all happy, do what he did in his last one, kind of be like, oh, I like games, go back to his stuff. Or could you imagine he exercises his calls tomorrow? Because here's something that I want you guys to understand, and here's something that I did find interesting, and this is something we should talk about before we get into questions and stuff. I don't know if you guys saw Gary Gensler on TV the other day, but they were talking about Roaring Kitty with douchebag Kramer. And, one of the things they're talking about with market manipulation and Roaring Kitty. And Kramer, not stupid ass Kramer, Gary was like, well, here's the thing. He's not really manipulating the market because he's literally being transparent with everything that he's doing. He's not manipulating anybody. He's literally buying, showing you his play. And in the end of the day, the media doesn't need to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it. It's not his fault people are talking about it. He's doing exactly what he's saying. So what is he manipulating? He's sticking to the play. He keeps, so at that point, and then the other thing I thought about too, and this is why he's a genius. Even if they go, all right, he's manipulating the market. Okay. Who gives a shit? Why would Roaring Kitty give any fuck? What are they going to do to him? What are you going to do? Give him a $10 million? Look what they do to businesses. What are you going to do? Give him a $10 million fine? Oh, well, he's already made $380 million. Do you think he gives a shit about a $10 million fine? And what are you going to do? You got to hold him to this. You got to hold that retail investor to the same standards you'd hold your institutions. Are you going to come down harder on Roaring Kitty than you do on institutions? Can you imagine how that would go over with the public? All eyes are on Roaring Kitty. If you go out and you discipline Roaring Kitty way harder than you've for his first time offense ever, and you don't, and compared to what some of these banks have 300 offenses. So you're going to discipline Roaring Kitty on his first offense for something these other guys have done 300 times. So even if they do try to hit him with market manipulation, he doesn't give a fuck. He's made hundreds of millions. It doesn't matter to him. And then he's going to keep going. And if you hit him with that, he's going to still invest in it and keep going. That's the thing. So he's pretty much, he's owned the race. He's owned everybody. What are you going to do to me? I'm not lying. I'm not pumping and dumping and selling and taking my money and running. He's putting it all right back in the same fucking play that he's still pumping. How do you pump let me ask you this. How do you pump a stock for 3 years? His position's not gone. Like I said, he's just added to it. He hasn't done the dump. So, again, Roaring Kitty fucked him up, but what do you guys think he's going to do? Every 3 words you say gets cut off? I mean, this is what I get for trying to restream. I've never restreamed before. Everybody told me that I should try streaming to Twitter and YouTube, so I'm trying to do both. My stream is fine, yeah. I just feel like maybe you guys are just lagging, man. But what do you guys think Kitty's gonna do today? Do you guys think he's gonna execute his calls? I mean, here's the thing: if he wasn't gonna do something big, and here, if somebody in my chat knows like his orders on, or like can memorize some of his memes, or has like his memes, but then he pulled up, what do you think he's gonna do? All of that led up to something. When he said, "Fine, I'll do this myself," the Thanos meme, we all now know that it was him. All right, everybody, I'm gonna show everybody my fucking contracts. You're not going to just go live. You're going to go live for a reason. You're not going to go live just be like, hey, everybody, I like GameStop. You're going to go live to do something big. So I feel like he might exercise his call contracts. And I'm dead serious. Could you imagine if he streamed? It was under 30. Yeah, could you imagine he did a 30-second stream and it was just all he did is, hey, everybody. And then he exercised his calls and logged off. I mean, would that not be the most epic stream in history? A 15-second stream, and all he does is exercise his calls. Just, hey, everyone, exercises his calls and goes. That would be insane. That would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie. It's the shortest stream in history, but it gets millions of views. GameStop's back up, the halt stopped, and GameStop actually moved back up to 35.42 from the halt. So for once, the halt actually helped. Kind of crazy. A halt helped retail for the first time ever. But you don't give him credit for doing one help to help us when 77 before that fucked us. But hey, I guess 1 in 77 times they can go ahead and say that it was to help retail and protect us. He said he's seen something. I think he is meant to share what he saw with us. Oh, really? Roaring Kitty saw something? Where did Roaring Kitty get the money? He got the money on the first run-up. He made $51 million. And then for the last 3... Here's the thing people don't get. The guy went out and made $51 million on the first run-up. And then for 3 years, you don't know what he did with that $50 million. When you have $50 million at your disposal, it's really easy to make money in the stock market. It's really easy. Because you can take small runs and make thousands and thousands on these small runs. And if you get a big run, you're talking millions and millions. It's a whole new ball field. So for him to go from $50 to $200 million over the course of 3 years was not something insane. Like, there's so many people that are like blown away and, there's got to be an institution out there backing him. No, there doesn't. You're telling me the guy that saw let me ask you this. You're telling me the guy that saw GameStop, he saw that. He's the one, he made $50 million off it. You're telling me that guy couldn't look into the market for over 3 years and make money in other plays? I'm pretty sure that guy knows what he's doing. So for him to, over a course of 3 years to gain that is not anything nuts to me. That's like, damn, good job, dude. You obviously have knowledge on the fucking corruption and the way the algos go and swaps. He's looking at something that we're not looking at. Like you said, he's the GOAT. For my first question, other than was it just the 200% or the over 100% in GameStop that kept drawing you to it forever, or what was the thing that first attracted you to GameStop? 91,000 in his waiting room. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I can't even imagine. And this is why I'm pissed at Ryan. I can't even imagine the type of fuel. I can't even imagine how much the stock could have blown up if you just waited till Monday. And that's the thing that pisses me off that Ryan did. If you waited till Monday, imagine if the stock, let's just pretend, it blows up to like 60. Let's say this offering never came out. We were rocking at 50, 60 bucks on Monday. And then Ryan did the offering. He's like, hey, now you only need to do an offering of 30 million. And guess what? It wouldn't have dropped as hard. But the reason it's dropping hard is because it's 75 million shares. Again, we have $2 billion in the bank and we burned $32 fucking million. Who gives a shit? What do you need another $2.6 billion for? I don't understand it. Like, what the fuck? Unless they got some really, really big expensive plans, what the fuck? Like I said, CEOs are gonna CEO, man. CEOs are gonna CEO. Anybody got a link to his stream? Man, just Google Deep or Roaring Kitty YouTube and click on the live tab, dude. I don't know what screen y'all are seeing right now. Oh, never mind. It's just super lagging on my end here. He's a controlled puppet like AA. Like I said, we already went over all of this with AA and Ryan. They're CEOs. They're not controlled puppets. They're there to do what's in the best interest of their company. There's nobody paying them to make smart business plays. That's just what smart CEOs do. Like I said, man, I'm just being honest. It's like, you guys, think about it. Why the hell would Adam Aron not want AMC's stock price as high as it could be? His entire net worth is in it. Well, he's getting paid a couple million by a hedge fund. Who gives a fuck? So a hedge fund could pay him $20 million, or he could make his stock 40, 50 bucks and keep it there and not be against it. And also he could have 500, 600, $700 million. Anyone that thinks Adam Aron, who his entire net worth is invested in AMC, wants it to fail. Yes, he wants his net worth to fail too, right? Makes zero fucking sense. Someone would have to pay him like $100 million because how much he could already make off his stock alone being worth whatever. Like I said, it's like, no. People aren't just shelling out $100 million to this dude. What if he's getting more again? Do you know how much Adam Aron shares would be worth if AMC was at like 30 bucks? They're gonna have to. I don't think they have that much to be shelling out. How long do I think Kittty's stream will be? I don't know. I hope it's 15 seconds long and it's literally him just exercising his contracts and he signs off. He doesn't even need to say. He doesn't even need to say a word. If he just showed us his screen and we just watched him exercise his contracts and he logged off, the internet would break. The internet would just break. He doesn't even need to say a single word. That's what's crazy. He could say anything today. It could go from any end. I'm just jacked. I just hope he does that. I just hope he doesn't say anything. Exercises, done. We're talking billions against tens of millions. No, you're talking billions. Just because these guys would lose billions of dollars because they have a short position doesn't mean they have billions of dollars to go walk over and hand AA cash on hand. They have that through assets and stuff. They're not selling off shit to go pay off AA quick. And again, how much shit would they have to sell off to pay off AA to get to $300-400 fucking million? Adam Aron, if his stock squeezed and he sold, could be a billionaire. How much, why, again, how much are they going to be able to give him to where they're like, don't have a success and have the squeeze. Instead of you squeezing and making X, we'll give you a hundredth of that? No. Again, neither one of them are out to get you. They're out to take care of their company first. And that's what a CEO does. And that's what this shows you today. That's exactly what Ryan showed you today. CEOs will always put the health of their company first. That's it. They all do. Every one of them. There's nothing special about a single one of them. It's just, again, I wish Adam Aron didn't start off with $6 billion to have to try to raise. Again, he had to raise $6 billion. He had to raise $1 billion. So if we started on a 6-mile race, Ryan Cohen got to start 5 miles ahead of Adam Aron. His path from the beginning has been so easy. But again, Roaring Kittty is the reason it's exploding again, and he's able to raise billions. So without Kittty right now, price would probably still be around 18 bucks. So just make sure you're giving Kittty credit. Not Ryan for Kitty's, just for Kitty's hard work. I'm about to just go watch Dumb Money for like 30 minutes. Does anyone else have any questions though at all? I just kind of wanted to do this because I knew I was gonna get up early as hell today. And I wanted something to go by so we could, before he streams. You know what's going to be really funny is you're going to have people streaming Kittty streaming instead of just going to watch it. Those are people you call the grifters. You make sure you leave those channels. Would dividend be game over? No, I don't think. Well, are you talking for AMC or GameStop? A dividend for AMC, they already said it's not happening anytime soon. So I don't think dividend is something to worry about with AMC. GameStop dividend. I mean, he could. I mean, here's the thing with Ryan. Maybe Ryan's a fucking genius, and I don't know. Maybe he's going to raise this huge capital. Okay, maybe he raises $2.6 billion. Probably not happening. But maybe then all of a sudden GameStop drops back down eventually, and they do a share buyback. I don't know. I don't know why you would need this $2.6 billion. Like I said, the 75 million share point is unbelievable to me. And all that tells me is you needed a large chunk of cash for a reason. And it's either you're pivoting now and you're changing your company's model, which is what he needs to do, or you're doing a merger of some kind and you needed a giant amount of capital raise for that merger. I think there is 0% chance it has anything to do with AMC or Highcroft Mining, for people asking me. No. If you look on here also, some of the things that he could do is investments. And they gave Ryan Cohen the ability to invest in stocks. So Ryan might take some of this money and maybe Ryan himself does some investments. I don't know. But again, I just don't understand why he couldn't wait until the fuse got lit by the cat himself. Now, we are coming back. We're up to 37.37. Which is, like I said, still, and he hasn't even started talking. I mean, the second his stream starts, I expect it to jump pretty good. And if he exercises on his stream, oh man, I can't wait to see what this dude's got to say, though. After the court approved the ape conversion a few weeks ago after the appeal, does that mean it will never fully converted? No, ape share is converted. Ape share, I know there's people out there talking about there's ape shares still being traded, but there's no ape shares being traded that I've seen. I've seen zero volume ever. But no, ape shares are already converted over. They're already in the float. If he did that, then dropped his mic. Yeah. I'm saying, man, that would be sweet. Just exercises his calls and logs off. That's all he needs to do. Can Ryan and Kittty be in cahoots and Ryan knows what Kittty is going to say? I mean, I'm sure what do you mean by cahoots, though? Cahoots for what? Like, you think that Ryan told Kittty to come back so he could sell shares and make this money, or what would they be in cahoots for, I guess, would be my question. Back to that. What would you think they were cahooting to do? I don't think Ryan talked to Kittty about doing this. I don't think Ryan was like, oh, great. And I just think Ryan saw an opportunity like, hey, the stock price is going to skyrocket. Who knows when we'll get this again? Because that's how they have to look at it. We all think it'll squeeze every day. So if somebody ever says it might not squeeze, or it might not go to this price for X amount of time, that person's a villain or a shill. But that's not the way a CEO can think. That's not the way a CEO can look at things. A CEO's got to look at it today and go, hey, we're getting this giant run up when we were just at $18. We're getting it because of this event. We might not get, who knows when this event will come again. This guy didn't do this for 3 years. It took 3 years for this event to happen. Maybe we should take advantage of the skyrocketed price. That's what Ryan's doing. That's what any CEO would be doing. But again, why did he do 75 million is my only question. I just think that's such a high number. It is just such a high number. Like, why didn't he do like 15, 20 million now? Let the thing skyrocket from Kittty, sell that off, and then do another filing next week type thing. Why did you 75? I mean, you just did 45 million. You just did 45 million. Like, how many shares? Like I said, it's just like, it blows my mind that he did 75 million. That's crazy to me. It's just crazy. Share offering in this stream is quite coincidental, though. Oh, I mean, it's not really coincidental. It's more an event thing. Like I said, if Roaring Kitty wouldn't be doing the stream, it wouldn't have got the run up it had, which means Ryan Cohen wouldn't have done the share offering because he wouldn't have been able to take advantage of the run up. There wouldn't have been any run up to take advantage of. So it's not really coincidence. It's cause and effect. The cause was this video, and the effect is I'm going to take advantage of the skyrocket. So it's just an event thing. It's not anything, like I said, it's not Kitty and Cohen aren't out doing this together. Ryan's not out to get, like I said, Ryan's not out to get anyone, but I just want you to understand the fact that he did 75 million. He does not give a shit if you squeeze. I want people to understand that. Stop putting this guy in a pedestal like he's greater than every other CEO. Stop putting him on a pedestal like he's only in it for your guys' squeeze and he can't do any wrong. You're allowed to be frustrated with moves like this because if he was in for the squeeze and just wanted to take advantage, again, you have over $2 billion. You only had a $32 million run-up. You didn't need to go out today and make $2.6 billion fucking more dollars. That to me shows that's greed. Like 75 million shares. Holy fuck. If he would have came out today and did 15 to 20 million shares, I would be right now telling you how smart Ryan Cohen was. I would be like, and then everybody would be like, so what? You suck Ryan Cohen's dick now just like you do fucking Adam Aaron? No, if they do smart moves, I say they do smart moves. When they don't do a smart move, I tell you how it's not smart. This was a smart move. The amount of shares was not a smart move. You didn't need 75 fucking million. That's greed. That's a CEO being a CEO. 15, 20 million would have been fine. You could have raised $600 fucking million more, had 2.6 million in the fucking bank, been burning 30 million a quarter until you figured out what you wanted to do, had enough money to do whatever you wanted to do and not worry about a fucking thing in the world. But 75 million, you're just getting greedy. Roaring Kitty's gonna pump Doge. Roaring Kitty don't give a fuck about Doge. But like I said, I just don't get it because fucking A, I've never seen a stock have that like pressure cooker just cooking and cooking and cooking. It's like, fuck, dude, just wait, motherfucker. Just wait, motherfucker. Wait one more goddamn day. Wait one more fucking trading day, dude, and you wouldn't even hear me right now. Or drop the fucking amount. Why did it need to be 75 million? Because I promise you, they're going to take the 75 million into account, even if he didn't drop it at the time, because they know that it's available to be dropped at any time. So they will price in that high amount of shares that he can drop. That's why it's like, fuck, dude, do 15, motherfucker, 75. And I don't get, like, the other thing I don't get, why the fuck did he drop earnings today? What was the point of dropping earnings today? It's not like they were good earnings. The company reported net sales of 881 million, which was a miss. Why would you report this today? It's like you did everything you possibly could to take the steam away. Oh, by the way, revenue missed. Oh, thanks, dude. Oh, by the way, I'm selling 75 fucking million. Oh, thanks, dude. Did they need to report to dilute? Yeah, you have to fill out the necessary forms to dilute. So yeah, they had to report it. But again, what the fuck was the purpose of dropping this today? Why did you drop this today? If you had great numbers, if it was a great numbers, I'd be like, okay. And they're not bad numbers. Like the 32 million loss is not bad numbers, and it's a positive from this point last year. But you still went down 32 million, so it's not like you're like, yeah, like you're not reading this and jumping for joy here. So it's like, just wait, motherfucker. Do I think I think Ken Griffin's watching it. I honest to God believe that there is somebody at Citadel or Ken Griffin himself, honest to God, is watching that. Is going to watch it today. 1000%. I 1000% believe somebody at Citadel's job today is to watch his stream and report on everything he says. Why do our CEOs insist on shooting us in the foot when we've moved and waited for years? Because that's what CEOs do. That's what they all fucking do. They're all rich. They're all in it for themselves. And that's why I kept telling people, even in GameStop. And like I said, when Adam Aaron does smart moves, I know it's not everybody goes, well, fucking blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, dude. None of you guys want to think fundamentals at all matter. They matter for AMC. They don't matter as much now for GameStop because they barely have any fucking cash burn. They're not making revenue, but they're now going to have $4 billion to sit on, so they have time to pivot. AMC is burning cash, and AMC has debt. So fundamentals matter for AMC, and that's why everybody go, well, they're not fucking mattering for GameStop. GameStop's not burning $200 million. It has fucking $700 million in the bank. You have 3/4 of fucking money worth. So when he dilutes because it's necessary to not go bankrupt, stop whining about it. That's a necessity. Him popping off $75 million when they have no debt, money in the bank, and you're barely doing cash burn is way worse than any fucking dilution Adam Aaron's ever done. Because again, why the fuck would you stop it when the pressure cooker's this fucking boiling, motherfucker? Let Kittty speak. Let the fucking cat speak. Let it pop. Don't release fucking bad earnings. You could have kept this to yourself until then and fuck off. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Like, dude, god damn it. 75 fucking million. Like, I still can't get over this fucking number. I just can't. It's unbelievably greedy. It's stupid. Even if they're doing a merger, you tell me what fucking merger needs 2.6 billion fucking dollars. Like, dude, just make your $500 million and be happy. Man. Hi Bobby, how are you, buddy? No, like I said, I like Ryan Cohen as a person, but in the end of the day, they're all CEOs. And just stop loving and trusting somebody. You can love a play, not need to necessarily back everything the CEO does. You can still like him and not back every move he does. Like I said, if this was 15 to 20 million, I'd be praising Ryan right now. 75 million, dude, that's like just greedy as fuck. Like, fucking motherfucker. I want the cat to go. These 18 minutes just feel like they're taking forever. Like this last 30 minutes, I feel like I'm just repeating myself. And I just want this fucking live stream to go, man. 126,000 are waiting in his channel. That is unbelievable, dude. That is fucking insane. Look at this. Let's check it out quick. 128,000. My God, dude. 16 minutes. Let's fucking go. Let's go, dude. For the person that wanted his link, here's the link to the kitty. The link is posted in the chat for everybody. Alrighty. No, I lost everyone. What the hell did I just do? Sorry, I'm on restream. First timer here. There we go. I'm back. Alrighty. Does anyone have any questions or anything you want to talk about? Want me to go over why we waited these 16 long fucking minutes? Otherwise, I think I'm going to jump off here. Go smoking and get ready here for the kitty's stream. Answer the question. Oh crap, what question? AI, ask the question one more time. I did not see it. Ask the question one more time, my friend. Let me look up for it. AI, where are you, buddy? Hey, I don't see your question. I went up pretty far. Ask your question one more time. Cast Zach Hadel. You can't do Zach Hadel, bro. If anyone's gonna have to play me, it's gotta be Ryan Gosling. He looks pretty similar. Please stream Kittty for us. No, I'm not gonna stream Kittty, man. We should all go watch Kittty. Give Kittty his views that he rightfully deserves. I don't want to stream while he's streaming. I just want to watch it and enjoy it. Biggs, how do we know we're in a short squeeze versus MOAS? Well, in a MOAS, you're gonna you would see a couple, like 5 or 6 stocks just fly up. Versus a short squeeze, you're only gonna see one, because a short squeeze doesn't necessarily mean others are gonna go. Now, if you saw a giant short squeeze on GameStop, you could still see a giant run up on CAS. You could see a run up on AMC because they're in those baskets together as well. So those baskets are going to affect people. And one of the things I told people, one of the ways that these guys cheat and one of the ways that they show lower short interest is they short the ETF instead of shorting the actual stock. Would I join the MOAS movie? Dude, I'd be in a movie. That'd be sweet. I just don't think they'd ask me. I don't think I've contributed to any type of MOAS. What are my price targets for AMC? I don't really like to give price targets, man. There's just too many people hold or buy contracts on that. And everyone's price target should be different. Do what's right for you for your price target. Don't be like, God, it's got to hit this number. Do what's right for you. You know, if you see a number that's you're at, you can always play things up and play them down. You don't have to make it all on just the run up. You can make it on the way down. There's tons of ways to play it. I want people, that's what I'm saying, make sure you educate your way self on plays, because when things run up, eventually they got to go down. So if you can, Kitty's going to play this on the way up. He's going to play it on the way down. It's very smart to play it both ways. It's risky too as well. But if you do it right, you can make a ton more money. Like I said, it's all risk, it's all play. I don't want to give people numbers or make it to where like, oh man, I said 45, 50, and I'm not saying that that's what they're going to get to. I think they can get way higher than that. But let's say I say 45, 50, and all of a sudden somebody gets like $35 and they're like, oh, he says $5 more and they lose out. That's why I will never give a price target, just because of people will literally wait for that number. No, my number is different than yours. Could you blow up the whole market? Corruption in the movie. I mean, if somebody sat down and interviewed me, like a news reporter interviewed me for 4 minutes, the amount of shit I could expose in a 4-minute interview would be insanity. They would never do it. They would never invite me on some type of big show where because I would know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. I know exactly what rules. Like I said, I bring up 203B, market maker exemption, 203B, fill before locate. I would talk about how they could fill those shares before they locate. I'd talk about short selling rules, exemptions. I'd talk about the CNS program. I would go on and on and on. I'd talk about the derivatives. I'd talk about the trillions and trillions they have in derivatives. I'd talk about the bank fines. I'd talk about how they have over 300 billion in bank fines. That's just fines alone. That's trillions. That means that they stole. I would go on and on and on. There's so much shit that I'd blow shit up if they put me on. They just would never do that. There's no way in hell. Let's say Ape was not all delivered. What can we expect? Ape was all delivered, my friend. There's no way at this point Ape wouldn't have been delivered. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get going here though. This thing's about to start. I'm gonna go smoke, go see the family a little bit. So thank you guys for listening. I'll have a good day. I'll be live probably tomorrow or the next day. We'll go over what Kittty has to say, and I'll talk to you guys real soon though. So thank you guys.